On this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS, the local geek is back, and this time he's brought a couple of his tasty homebrews for us to try. Oh boy, I am looking forward to sampling these delectable beers from the local geek. Besides that, we're going to talk a little bit about home improvement. We're going to talk a little bit about lawn care, kind of, because, you know, there's stuff, and local geek's got a new mower, so how's that treating him? What else are we going to chat about? Oh, did you hear about this controversy going on around Sriracha? Listen, if you can get your hands on that, you might want to, because, woo, it sounds like there's something big going on there. And we're joined by one other guest, who, I'm not telling you, you actually need to stick. I can't tell you all of the good stuff here, but I can tell you this. You're in a good place. Welcome to the show.
It's Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder. Pour a cold beverage, pull up a seat, enjoy time with friends.
Triple B! Well, the Triple B sucks. Okay? Oh, come on.
Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online at beerbluesbs.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that has somehow managed to survive the trauma that happened at the end of last episode and is back fully healed and ready to go. I'm your host, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
Howie Blues, I don't know if we really healed or survived, but we're back for another week, and I guess it is what it is. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's unfortunately going to be another busy weekend. I get to go to Stutzman tomorrow, the Stutzman County Courthouse. They're doing an event with first responders and vehicles, so I'm going to go help out, do that, but I will say, I do feel better. I'm not going to give away what happened last week because we have guests on tonight who haven't seen that episode yet, and I don't want to ruin the surprise for them. But I will say, Kidder, after the adrenaline settled at the end of last week's episode and I crawled into bed, I will tell you, it was like different parts of my body started like chiming in going, yep, I hurt. Yep. I'm sore. Yep, this aches. So,
you know what that means?
I'm old, man.
Yep. There you go.
I knew where you were going with that. But I'm doing better. I recovered. And hey, if you're
good, who's here?
Just get there. Just chill. I was going to just say, if you don't know what I'm talking about, pause this episode, go back, watch last week's episode, the whole thing. Make sure you like and subscribe it while you're there. You know, that's always great. Give it a good thumbs up, and you'll then know all of the stuff that I'm alluding to. And with that, let's introduce our guest for the evening. He's back, and this time he's brought us beer, and this time it better be better than the last stuff he brought us. But it is the Triple B Brewmaster. It is the local geek. Welcome back. How are you doing this evening?
Hi, guys. Thanks. I'm doing pretty good this week. For the most part, it's been a good one, so it's always a bonus. Like you said, I brought beer, and in my opinion, it's pretty good. So
I'm still not over that coffee crud that we drank 2 weeks ago. That was...
Yeah, that stuff was pretty bad.
I did finish it, but it was not great. So...
And I'm looking forward to seeing last week's episode. So
it's a good one, and you got to stay through. It's the longest behind the curtain we've ever done, so I'll give you that. But there's even something behind the curtain. So stick through to the very end, man. It's worth it. It's a good one, instant classic. But Local Geek, what are we drinking tonight? We know it's one of your creations. What'd you bring to the show this evening?
So what I brought is, I've teased it several times on the show, I think now. I even drank it myself, I think once or twice since I have made it. It's been something I've had in the kegerator for 2-ish months, maybe even 3 now. Just haven't had a chance to get it put together for you guys. It's the one that JS Gunslinger requested. So it is the Shandy And I gave you guys each a grapefruit and a lemonade one, and then also just the plain wheat beer base for the shandy. In my opinion, the grapefruit's the best one. I wasn't super big on the wheat beer in comparison to the Abner O'Neill that I gave you guys a while back, so definitely like the Abner better, but the hops we used on this one was a fairly new variety that's supposed to give it some pineapple esters, so I thought that would go good with shandying it, which it does work really well with the shandies. So got myself it's been a week glass with it in it already. And this one came in pretty low alcohol. I think the wheat plain was 4%, so adding the shandy, it's somewhere around a third grapefruit juice to the beer, so another third diluted off of that.
Okay. Now, I have to ask, Local Geek, before I open this thing, and it's the question I always ask you every time I open a beer that you've made. Do I need the poncho?
You know, this one's a wild card. Because I added the fruit juice to it, there is a chance that it continued fermenting in the bottle.
So it's going to be one of those, huh?
Potentially. The out of the kegerator, I don't have the juice in it, so I don't know what it's going to do out of the bottle. I haven't had any that way.
Well, here we go. It's the G, right?
Yes, that is the grapefruit.
This one right here?
Yep.
It's a G thing. Okay. Here we go. We're good. It's a Smittix, but not. Smells pretty good.
It does have a pretty light carbonation on it to begin with, so if it did ferment in the bottle, hopefully it's not going to blow out on you.
Woo! That's sour.
Very sour.
I am donning the poncho. Let's
Doesn't mean you're ready.
no, I'm never ready. We're safe. We're safe. And I will be enjoying mine out of this lovely Howard's Cave of Wonder glass, which you can get on our merch store on beerbluesandbs.com. Yeah.
It definitely looks like it picked up a little carbonation from
Just a wee bit. Just a wee bit.
What the heck's wrong with yours? Jeez, mine's totally fine.
Why do you think I'm wearing a poncho, kidder? My luck of beer brewed by the Brewmaster and me getting along, not great. Not great. I mean, they all taste fine, but they hate me. You know, like right from birth, it's like they're programmed to be anti-Howard Blues.
Either Local Geek has it in for you, or you're just imagining things.
I mean, listen, I'm a guy wearing a poncho. Clearly, I have some, mental stability issues. It smells lovely, though.
The grapefruit juice I used in that is the Simply variety, so it's not a super sweet one. So that's where that bitterness Kidder mentioned is going to come from.
Woo!
Got him.
Actually, so here's my mistake, okay? And this goes to a topic that is later on the run sheet and lack of sleep. I didn't think about the fact that I was going to be drinking a grapefruit shandy on the show. So right before the show, I took a swig of Coke. So the sweetness from the Coke has kind of killed like the sweet part of my palate. So that is like, it's like drinking orange juice after brushing your teeth. So
I also had a Coca-Cola prior to the show. Good.
That's
stuff.
not bad.
Good job, Local Geek.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure JS said he liked it as well. So,
well, good job. Another good brew, and we'll enjoy this one through the show until we get to what's on tap round 2, and then we'll try something else. And I'm going to remove this poncho because, man, it's hot. I'm not going to lie, though. I did hope that our other guest would pop in while I was wearing that, just because I know his reaction would be like, what the hell?
No.
Well, gentlemen, it's been a week. And why is that the facepalm? I mean, it's the catchphrase, man.
You did the thing.
I did the thing, you know? There are people who sit by every episode and wait for me to say it.
But why it's every week a week? Like, why has it been a week?
Well,
we had to start doing these shows every couple days, and it can't be a week. What?
Well, listen, my life is just, I am the living embodiment of Charlie Brown. And that means crap happens to me all the time. I am terribly unlucky. But because of that, it means I got a lot of stuff that occurs that is just worth talking about.
Like what?
Well, like here's a fun one, Kidder. You might remember a couple weeks ago you had to replace the sewer pump on your at your house, and you told that story on the show. Well, last weekend on Sunday, I came downstairs. I was the first person awake in my house. I'm like, I'm going to go work on the cave because that never happens. And I'm down here and I'm starting to work on something. I'm like, man, the pump in my sump pump is just running constantly. And I'm like, that's weird. It doesn't usually do that. And then all of a sudden I start hearing a thud, 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 thud noise. I'm just like, oh no. I don't want to deal with this. I finally have a morning to work in the cave and I have to deal with it. So that one was an easy fix. It was just a float that I think was stuck and then a little bit of air in the old line. So did not have to go to quite the length that Kidder did. But the new one, Kidder, and this happened just last night, so woohoo. Lefty was in our laundry room and she was doing some laundry. I was finally sitting down, relaxing, enjoying my evening. I'd had a long day. I traveled to Fort Totten for our board meeting with the State Historical Society Board of Directors. And we just were trying to take it easy, and all of a sudden she goes, hey, did you ever notice these water spots in the ceiling before? Because they're looking really wet. And we have a nice drop ceiling in our laundry room. And I went in, and sure enough, I have a tile that is just sopping wet. And so we get a stool, and I move the tile, and I take a look. Everything above it is dry. Like, what on earth is this, leak coming from? The best thing I can find is I have a cold water line touching one of my the vent for the dryer, like the kind of the venting on that. And so possibly we're having some condensation and maybe that's creating the leak. I'm like, okay, well, let's monitor this. I was going to go up and take a shower. I'll take a shower, come back down, see if the water and that, if that has effect. I came back down afterwards, huge puddle of water on the floor, and I found it. And apparently from up in my shower, the shower head, it has the pipe that runs into the wall. Apparently in the wall, that pipe has become unscrewed and is slowly trickling water down into my laundry room. So
I would go more along the lines of unhinged.
Well, that's just everything that comes to you, me, the show. And the guest who just popped in, ladies and gentlemen.
Unhinged?
Yeah. Welcome back to the show after a long absence. Everybody's favorite troll. That's right. He's the official trolling minister of the Triple B. Ladies and gentlemen, Big D, back on the show. How you doing tonight?
And don't you forget it. I'm doing just fine. Kind of crazy and hectic up here in Casada, Big D. Came in right in the middle of the water leaking story, and I can see on the run sheet Joy of Owning a Home on topic 2. I'm assuming that's where we are right now, and I can relate, brother. Similar boat.
Yeah, he's talking about taking a leak, and then you show up. So I mean,
yeah. And sorry for the delay in getting in here. So it's at back in by myself with no adult supervision situation again. Mrs. D and Little D are in northwest Montana at the moment, so they were just calling in because of the time difference. Little D's going to bed right now. And then, of course, that delayed my coming back on here with the Mike Adamley and Larry Zonka of internet podcasting. And Local Geek, since that was an American Gladiator reference, we can call you Nitro because beer.
Sure, that works.
You're feeling a bit drained, aren't you there, Big D?
Yeah. Because I just had a handyman in to replace the floor in Little D's closet, which was ruined. And then I got a couple other projects around the house that have to get taken care of to bring the not to imply that things aren't up to code, but they're not up to renter's code because we're renting the house out when we move in a few weeks. So just random crap to knock out. It's fun. I get to spend $700 on a door to my garage because it's not fire rated.
Yeah, that's always a fun bill.
Yeah.
You gotta spend money to make money, everybody.
Yeah.
Big D, the money machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a one of the other projects besides the leaking pipe that I get to do is I have to patch a hole in the wall because Junior decided to fling our garage door open so hard it went past it actually the door jam didn't stop it, and I got now a nice little hole in my wall. So
you're talking about the swing door because for a second I had a vision of you pulling the mechanical release and Junior just getting down there and going, I am Groot all over that door, sliding it upward and just go through your back wall. But no,
Yeah.
not what you're talking about.
No, just the swing door on that. So I have a nice little it's not quite a hole, but it's not quite a crack, but it's clearly where we have the locks where you just turn the knob, and it's that knob that just went through the wall.
It's enough where you have to do something other than nothing to fix it.
Mm-hmm. And so I mean, it's some spackle and such. It'll take me maybe 20 minutes to fix.
What you need to do is be like every other red-blooded American. Go to your hardware store and buy the circular patch and just over the top of it. Never happened.
That patch is far bigger than what this thing is. I mean, we're talking.
So you're covered. It's good.
It's like the
Done.
thickness of a quarter. It's like just a little line in my wall.
So now you're just being picky about it. I'd say you just leave it for the next 18 years because it'll happen again.
So, serious question, Howard. Do you have the stuff to fill it right now?
Yes.
Oh,
yes, I do.
Because I was going to say, if you didn't have it, I already filled you in on my travel plans over the next couple of weeks. There are actually some holes in Little D's bedroom wall that I have to fill in as well. And I can just pass that on to you. These are holes that I put in there, so that's kind of a hammock for his stuffies. The screws in the wall. I gotta fix them because it went horribly wrong. But I would just buy a little thing and pass it on to you when I'm passing through in a couple of weeks. But
yeah, this was such a small. I just bought a little tube kit. But if you haven't picked up your stuff, 3M makes a really, really awesome wall spackle kit. That's very good. You can get it at Lowe's. Not that they're paying for us to mention it, but you can. For those who can't see the multi-view, Kidder's shooting me daggers across the internet.
Hey, that's how Dude Dad got sponsored by Lowe's. Was he mentioned them every time he recorded something and finally got the sponsorship?
See, that's my theory. If I just keep talking nice about companies, then maybe they'll be that way and help me out.
Well, maybe this Lowe's segment will help us out. Home Improvement by Lowe's at Howard Blue's Cave of Wonder, sponsored by Lowe's, the Lowe's Home Improvement Way. What can Lowe's do for you? Let's be honest, Lowe's has the lowest prices around, and Lowe's knows because that's where the expert goes.
But the spackle, and I can't remember the exact look at it, but it actually has a primer built into it, and it doesn't shrink. So if you do a really nice patch job on it, and don't have a lot of overflow, it's pretty easy then to just slap a coat of paint on it once it's dry and done. I used it when we bought our condo in Bismarck because the people who owned it before us were heathens and didn't believe in door stops. And so there was a hole behind every door in the house from the doors being slammed open. So I fixed all of those.
Maybe you just have weak walls.
No, trust me, kidder. That was not the only home improvement thing that you're like, what the hell? They were working on renovating that place, and then they just kind of decided, you know what? All this home renovation sucks. Let's just build our own new home. Brand new. Don't have to deal with any of this. Because, brand new built homes never break down or have problems.
Yeah, go back to the first couple episodes.
So, Big D, we're already drinking. And
I'm almost done.
Unfair to make. Yeah. I've been doing most of the talking. Okay, just chill. Big D, what do you have on tap tonight? And what will be what's on tap? Round 1 for Big D. Apparently, round 2 for Kidder and the Local Geek.
Well, I got to run back upstairs and grab it. So I'm going to turn the camera off so you can put, I don't know, some Street Fighter or some Dragon Ball character. If it's not Goku, you're not trying hard enough. What in the actual?
It's funny because it's not like he knew that he had to be on this show and prepared by bringing a beverage down with him. So he's going to waste our time instead.
First of all, piss right off. Second of all,
no, I'm good. I went before I started. I think ahead.
Second of all, I was prioritizing the family. Third of all, Local Geek. What in the world is? That's a new one. You got some, and I haven't even started drinking yet. I'm already hallucinating. Alrighty. Well, okay. Commence chicanery, Future Howard. I'll be right back.
No, you won't.
Dude, shut up.
I kind of figured he was just going to be listening in, he's saying that he's going up to get another beer, but he's just really sitting there I'm going to hear what they say about me. Yeah,
why wait until the episode is released?
That's
you going to wait for round 2, Howard?
I mean, I will try to catch up, but we'll see. I mean, I am the slowest beer drinker in the West, so don't feel like you have to wait for me,
Oh, I was gonna have something different and then have the lemonade when you're ready. So
hey, you do you. You kind of got to be like JS on this show. If you remember the last time you were on, somehow JS got to round 4 without anybody really catching on. All of a sudden he's like, well, on round 4 I'm having this. It's wait, there was a round 3. So you just just do you. Future Howard will curse because he'll be in the middle of this and be trying to keep track of what round we're on, but
just call it round 1.5.
Yeah, I just get snarky as I keep going. Well, now it's just you and me, Kidder. And me. It's you, me, and me.
Yeah, alternate universe you, because it's inverse of you right now.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? The bluish purples in the back and the reds on your shirt. And now you have the blackish blue shirt on and the red in the back. And clearly you have a goatee currently. So you're Mirror Howard.
Yeah. Does that make me the good Howard or the evil Howard?
Evil.
That case, I mean, been evil Howard since 2008. So, yeah. And hey, Big D's back.
Yeah, now I'm wondering what in the world I'm looking at. I'm very confused.
What are you talking about?
Huh?
You'll just have to watch the episode that came out today, and you'll understand.
Okay, fair enough.
Mhm.
So anyway, so what's on tap along with the getting ready to move situation? I'm trying to clear out what we got in the house, and then that leads me to the first what's on tap. I got a gin and tonic with the Japanese craft gin, Roku Gin, distilled in Japan with 6 unique Japanese botanicals, 43% alcohol by volume, and then multi-layered, perfectly balanced gin combining both traditional and 6 uniquely Japanese botanicals: sakura flower, yutsu peel, sencha tea, sancho pepper, sakura leaf, gyokuro tea. And if there's any Japanese-speaking individuals, I formally apologize for that butchering of the pronunciation. I don't speak Japanese. I barely speak Korean. And
Are you turning Japanese?
nope.
You don't really think so?
Nope.
Bonus points to Kidder for that reference.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Fever Tree tonic water in there. And, yeah, that's been a pretty solid gin and tonic that Mrs. D and I have had over the past couple of years. Didn't really have gin and tonic before coming back to North Dakota. And this is it's a good 4.7 out of 5.
I'm about to
Nice.
crack open something that probably needs no introduction. It's been on the show 3 times, but I'm going to give it an introduction anyway with some of the previous ratings of it, and should be good. The first time it was on the show was with Brother Nico, and he said, it kind of tastes like throw up. I'm glad I only bought one. And then Howard and Kidder later had it, and Howard said, I've never seen Kidder KO'd by a beer before, and Kidder said that's an odd taste. So I have the Shiner Agua Fresca.
You poor bastard.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kidder gave me this one.
You're welcome.
It smells all right.
Yeah,
Famous
that's where it
last
starts.
words.
Oh, that is an odd taste. It's like a unblended sweetness and bitterness fighting each other.
So kind of like Howard and Mark.
Yeah. We'll let them figure out which one's the sweet one and which one's the bitter one.
I plead the fifth. So, oh yeah, Kidder, go back to that last filter you had with the hat and the headphones for a second.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's pulling a Brother Nico. He's playing with it while nobody can see.
What?
So, you know those scumbag Steve memes running around the internet? That reminds me of that.
Why are you talking about yourself?
I do what I want.
It's my body.
Anywho, somebody stop this madness.
Oh, all right, fine. We'll transition to an actual topic. Since we were just talking about the joys of home ownership, this brings up a part of the home that we spend a lot of time talking about during this time of the year, and that is the lawn and our constant battles with that. And as I updated you on the last time, Kidder, I'm still battling those damn voles in my yard.
Well, pick up the pace, man. Stop sucking.
Listen, I'm trying. They just keep finding new places to go, and I now have purchased. I have 2 more of those little stakes coming to try and scare them away, because they've now moved to the far corner of my lot. I'm like, Okay, need one more. They have gotten into the drainage, so I have a spot where kind of my eaves drain down kind of into the street underward. It goes. Howard's having problems talking. What's new? It goes underground, so from my gutters down underground, and then it drains out into the street. And that is where they have started kind of digging and putting their new hole. So I need to put one there as well. So I'm working on it, but I think I'm close. I think I'm real close to having the voles under control. So that will be good, because that's finally I can move on to other issues my lawn is having. Mostly some weeds, and I got a lot of weeding to do in our flower beds, but it all takes time. If anybody wants some baby trees, let me know. I got a ton of them. So, but Local Geek, you got a new lawnmower, and how's that treating you?
Yeah, we talked about it last time I was on. I'd gotten to use it one time at that point. I've used it twice since then, and my battery actually is lasting completely through mowing the yard. The last two times I've done it, I've had right around half or just under half left. So it was just that my yard was a little too long, I think, the first time I used it. So very happy with that and how well it works. I actually, over Prime Day here, just picked up, they had a deal on the weed eater and leaf blower bundle. So I picked that up too, and that should be here either tomorrow or Monday.
Now nice. He can cut, whack, and blow.
Yep.
It's very green of you.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to hear how you like those other products, but I know I like my electric weed eater. I love it a lot. It's nice. I can actually listen and hear things while I'm weed whacking.
Right. Yeah, we've been without one for quite a while. The ripcord on it won't rewind. Like if we go in and fix it, like one pull and it doesn't wind back up again. So.
Kidder, how's your lawn going? I heard the last time that you were having a lot of problems in the backyard and such. Any progress? Any improvements? Any?
Well, I mean, here's the truth behind it, right? Because my yard still looks like a golf course. Still pristine. Mowed it tonight. Still looks fantastic. With my gas mower blowing out the fumes, taking over the planet and helping my ecosystem by giving it carbon dioxide, helping it grow. But I could use a little bit more dirt in some spots.
I know. It seemed like you were spewing out a whole bunch of manure right now. Your grass should be going pretty good.
Why don't you just stop by and find out?
I maybe I will.
Yeah.
If you want, Big D, I can tell you where he lives.
Interesting.
Yes.
Right now, I'll just be content to find a hotel in Bismarck on that night.
I mean, look at those lines. See, they're great. See, they're great. That helps. There, I don't have to worry about being here. Yeah, see.
I'll take your word for it.
It's just a spatial distortion. It's okay. It'll clear up once the nebula passes. It's fine. I'm thirsty. What are we having?
This is god awful.
Why do you think it's one of the three beers that are the triple B of doom?
Okay, so I have I think L squiggle or it's a C. And W?
Yes, the W had the line underneath it. I had a fat marker and it smeared.
Not as fat as the Magnum.
You're right.
Nothing is as
Smell
bad
it.
as the Magnum.
You can smell that sumbitch from here. So which one are we doing next? The lemonade?
I would say the lemonade because the plain wheat one's going to last a little bit longer in the fridge if we don't get to it tonight.
Okay. That sounds good. Let's pop this new arrival. Huh, weird. This is fine. Not having any issues there. Howard Blues. Look at the color on that. Smells really good. Nice and lemony sour. That is very light. So light you can barely see it.
You're having way too much fun with your cloaking device going on over there.
Again, I cannot confirm nor deny these nor any other allegations at this time. I did, however, pick up a while ago, which you will really like, Big D. Some more Insignias. There's the Picard Delta. They're magnetic too, so it doesn't destroy your clothes. Your clothes gives them to me. This one of my favorites, the All Good Things. See, because you can't even see it.
Yeah, I was about to ask if one was the other, but yeah, I guess there was the gold color and all good things.
My favorite of the communicators, the Generations Com badge, if you want to go to its full truth of when it first appeared. How about the Bajoran militia? You feel like joining the militia? Maybe. Like that? No.
That's cool.
Oh, there's more. And of course, question: have you seen Strange New Worlds yet? Have you watched any of the episodes?
I have not. I am about 2/3 of the way through Discovery 2.
Well, there's the command com badge from Strange New Worlds. There, of course, is the science and engineering, which got those as well. They don't have the medical one yet for whatever reason, but I got a few of them. How about Lower Decks?
Haven't seen.
You should see that one. That's good. Animated. It's good. It's good stuff. And then I got a bunch of other pins too. In fact, the new arrival, you might really enjoy these, as I know you clearly remember a bunch of the episodes. That's something.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's something.
That makes me want to take a swig. There you go.
Yeah. You remember
Delicious. Oh, Future
Parallels?
Imperfect. Oh, yep.
And Future Imperfect. They used them in both.
Mm-hmm.
But there you go. Commander, Lieutenant Commander, and Lieutenant.
I'll take your word for it because they keep disappearing.
Open your eyes. Hold on. That's a good one right there. JS saying hasta luego. So yeah, there you go. There's the commander, lieutenant commander with the silver there, and then lieutenant. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I can't reach him. I have the captain and the admiral one back over there. The Kelvin timeline, which, of course, Howard is it's his favorite. He thinks it's the best of the Trek movies. 2009. And how about this one?
Oh, yeah.
Look familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The Admiralty on the Wrath of Khan. Monster Maroons. So, yeah. Good stuff recently. Also, you need to watch Strange New Worlds. The episode that came out yesterday is one of the best Trek episodes that's been made.
I'm working on it.
I know.
The way I figure, I'll probably be able to get through Discovery by the time I leave Grand Forks, and then I'll probably work. How many seasons are in Strange New World, or how many episodes are in the season Strange New World? Is it like 10? Yeah, okay, I should be able to get through season 1 by the time Mrs. D and Little D join me in Korea, because I'll be getting there about a week ahead of them. The frick?
Here we go. There's something better.
There we go.
That's the Admiral one. And there's the captain. There are 4 bars. Yeah. Okay. Happy to get that out. So, what do you think about Discovery?
Working through season 2. I've been fine with it. Working through season 2. I just finished. Just got through last night where Burnham's mom is back, and then she gets snapped back to the future.
You're seeing the Red Angel?
Yeah. The mirror Giorgio. I get the feeling they're trying to make her the series Q. As you're trying to be all powerful, all pretentious, but also kind of throwing in moments of levity. It's like this, kind of like their version of Q in this one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've been
the small town episode yet?
Small town,
like they're in a church.
Yes, I thought that was a while back.
Yeah, I think it was like the second episode of the season.
Yeah, that was earlier on. And
I was curious about your take because Jonathan Frakes directed that episode.
I'm fine with it. I hadn't watched that, and like I took a pause after I came back from Arizona, and I remember watching it. I remember being fine with it. I don't know. It's been a fun series so far.
Well, enjoy it while you can.
Is that because it's really going to go south, or is that just because you got a bitter Billy bitch cake status you're going about it?
No, it progressively gets worse and more people cry, and then it becomes a cry fest every episode, and then it just you'll see.
Hitter doesn't like crying in his Star Trek.
No, because you're supposed to be a Starfleet captain, not a whiny little.
There's nothing wrong with emotion being written into the storyline. They're humans, not Vulcans, you cold-hearted bastard.
So anyway, I chose to be here with you 3 a-holes instead of going to see Shinedown, Saint Asonia, and Sleep Theory at the Red River Valley Fair. So, you're welcome.
My brother's there. He's been sending me pictures.
You should send him the middle finger.
I should send him some of that agua fresca is what I should do.
Yeah, you can do that too.
I mean, you could have gone, kidder.
I mean, maybe. Local Geek would have gone. I mean, I know you wouldn't have.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, we could have rescheduled.
Yeah, I totally would have gone if I wasn't on call this week.
Yeah, you just gotta say something, man.
I didn't even know that was happening this weekend.
I don't follow that stuff. How would I know that there's a thing going on?
Did you go see Bad Wolves last night, Kidder?
Nope. I was busy.
Local Geek, did you go?
I did not. I wanted to, but there was just too much going on.
I also didn't leave work until about the time they started playing. So, not gonna work.
Yeah, I was actually probably in the same boat because I was on a high priority call till about 7 o'clock last night.
Making some sweet beverages. That's what he was doing.
Yeah, I wish I was. I'd been on that call since 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
So why did you break teams? Or is that just your brother?
That's just my brother.
Okay.
I don't like Teams. Not Microsoft Teams.
I agree. You don't like being on a team.
We use WebEx Teams at work. That's great. Microsoft Teams, I can go with that.
Yeah, I got to use Teams.
I don't mind Teams. It's all right.
Teams can take a flying leap, and WebEx can take one right behind it. They're both equally.
I like WebEx.
Kidder's very opinionated in his meeting software.
Yeah, I just want one that works. Because, I mean, this doesn't even work half the time. So, all of them are equally worthless. It's like the opening of Full Metal Jacket. You are all equally worthless! Because, let's be honest, WebEx, you answer the phone. Doot, doot, okay. Blah, 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 blah. You start walking through the building and you change access points. Bloop, drops the call.
Yeah, that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, I know it's not supposed to happen. Well, what always happened?
I'm going to have to yell at my brother.
No, that was at my last garbage job. So now we use Teams and Avaya. I have mixed feelings on Avaya as well.
I do too.
You actually know what it is. Of course you know what it is. Yeah. You're a local geek.
We use Avaya right now at work. We're slowly, like, in the next 5 years transitioning to Cisco because Avaya sucks.
Because that thong.
Our phones are from Avaya at work for the most part.
It's,
at this particular locale, I've used Cisco phones before in there. I like them better. I agree with you.
Was that like white-haired Cisco or Prophet Cisco?
The Cisco who doth provideth the phones that don't sucketh.
I actually, about a month ago, the first week of June, I was in Las Vegas at Cisco Live, Cisco's annual convention, and that was a ton of fun. They know how to put on a convention. They had Jim Gaffigan was one of the keynotes. And then the Wednesday night of the conference, they had like an actual conference with Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton. Like completely private for Cisco Live. Blake Shelton came out on stage. He goes, I saw this on my calendar and it said it was a private event for Cisco. And I'm looking around and I'm thinking to myself, this is a damn arena. This isn't a private event. There's about 20,000 people there.
Now you know where the money went.
Work paid for it. So I'm wasn't out anything myself. They also, all the beer was free at the concert. All the food was free. And we emptied every single keg in that section of the stadium that I was in.
You're doggone right you did.
We you gotta get us an invite to this conference there, Kidder.
Mm-hmm.
I think it runs about $2,500 a person.
Sounds about like $2,600 more than I'm willing to spend on that. I mean, perfectly honest.
Conferences I go to aren't usually that interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was a good conference from what I'd heard about it, but I was blown away by how good it actually was. It was phenomenal. I obviously
for that price.
Also attended quite a few classes and learned a lot and got one of my certifications. So
I was going to ask if if it had a good learning component to it, because that's sometimes the conferences I end up going to. It's like, why did I go through this? Like the last one I was at was the North Dakota Tourism Conference, and I don't know what it was, but hey, I mentioned I'm the living embodiment of Charlie Brown. Every breakout session I attended, I mean, I read the description. I'm like, this sounds like something perfect, something I can learn, something I could take back. And none of those sessions were actually what they had written. You know, so like one of them, it's a great example, was like thinking in the gray. And it was written to like how to get past black and white thinking. And I'm like, okay, that could be good. I work with a lot of people who are very stuck in this is how we do everything. Okay, great. I'll get something. Nope, it was all about health and nutrition.
Huh. Yeah, I definitely will say that the sessions I attended helped me to pass my certification exam, because there was definitely some stuff on there. I took the exam on the last day of the conference, and had I not waited until the last day, I may not have passed it. I'm not sure. But the exam was also included in the cost of the conference. That's like a $400 value. So,
Local Geek, did you get your Cisco certification when we were in high school? Did you take those classes?
No, I've taken the test, I think, just once prior to this, and I didn't pass it. I missed it by just like 3 points, I think it was, or something. It was ridiculous close.
So I did take the networking Cisco courses in high school, because that was back when I thought I was going to be a computer programmer. And like we had, and I forget what her name was. It was the same teacher we had for computer programming, who had no love for me for reasons that I think we maybe have said on this show.
Yeah, we discussed it, I think, the first time I was on.
Yeah. Anyway, I took it from her, and I got down to the final test on it, which I forget what it was like. It was like 7 or 8 pages of code that you had to basically like memorize to type in, and it was setting up like a switch and a couple of different points. And when I took it, I got an error on it, and it was an error that I didn't know what it was. The teacher didn't know what it was when I asked. And I spent the entirety of my time that I had on the test trying to problem solve this. So I didn't finish. Like, I didn't get everything done. And a couple days later, I asked her, I'm like, so did you ever figure out what that error was? Oh, it was fine. It was like a really minor thing. Your program still would have worked, if you would have done it all. It's like, well, okay. Can I retake this thing? Because I didn't finish, because I was so trying to get this, figure out what this error was. She reluctantly let me retake it. I told her, I said, it's not that I want that I have to get an A. It's not that. I just want at least the fair shot to say, hey, yes, I memorized 7 pages of code to set this thing up. I just want the credit for yes, I did this. I'm not going into this field. At that point I had decided nope, totally not going to go into the IT world. And I'm like, but I'd like the credit for the memorization and such that I did, even if I don't, I think I still end up with like a B in the class, but it's like,
yeah. Another thing that helped me is I talked to a couple of the other guys from my company that took the exam earlier in the week, and one of them's advice was there's 2 labs during the test, and he said if you get stuck on the lab, just move on from it. You can't go back to it and finish it, but it's going to suck too much of your time. Just move on from it. And so I did that. I got stuck on the first lab at just the very last section of it. I was like, I get credit for the first 3 quarters that I did, and I had missed this point. It's not a huge deal, and I'm not wasting my time. And I had like 11 minutes left when I finished. So, but that was his problem, is he ran out of time.
yeah. It's like, don't get me wrong, like it's impressive. Anybody who can do that stuff, my hat's off to them. There is no reason I should have been in that class. I'll just put it that way. Shouldn't have been there. Shouldn't have been doing it. So, but I will say credit to those who have done it and have that skill set, because it's a pretty impressive skill set, all things considered.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. Like I said, I failed the first time I took the test, and even just like breaking into the industry took me quite a while to really find something that fit me. So,
yeah, it takes something to be an IT guy. Well, I'll just say it.
Yeah, telling people to turn it off and turn it back on.
That's something's called beer.
That too.
It'll give me horrible flashbacks to my computing classes for meteorology. It was bad. C was horrible. Fortran a little better. I remember in numerical methods in meteorology, there was one of my classmates who's beating his head for like a couple 3 days on a homework assignment, and it had, I forget what we were programming. The only thing that I remember is that the answer, whatever we were calculating, the end result should have been 30, and the instructor laid out, how you're going to be graded. This part of your code, points. This part of your code, this points, and for it to say, for you to get, for the output to be 30, you get points. One of my classmates just beating his head for a couple 3 days on this thing, and finally just wrote a discrete line into the code that forced it to say 30, like print, the answer is 30, and just left it to that. The teacher was not impressed. But he got points for the outcome, because technically the outcome was right. Everything else was horribly wrong.
Yeah, I didn't finish one of that programming class.
I barely did.
I asked myself why I would ever need this or use it, because I had already been doing TV meteorology and I hadn't used any of that. So like, why do I need to use it now?
Right?
It's not going to happen.
And Big D, now that you're semi-professional meteorologist with United States Air Force,
Semi-professional. Come on now.
how often do you use your programming skills?
Grand total of not at all. I mean, the most complex that I get is using Excel, and there's aside from that, there's a program that we use where we can modify a TAF either using a wizard kind of application or just hard programming the actual text to get it to spit out a 5-day or a 7-day or whatever we're looking for. For those unfamiliar, TAF is Terminal Aerodrome Forecast, where it's a whole bunch of meteorological code for a forecast, and then it spits out the output in a very specific way. That can get pretty tedious if we go that far, but the occasion to use that is like once every 3 years. So not at all do I use any Fortran or C or anything like that. And
Still PowerPoint.
Actually, yeah, I mean Excel and PowerPoint, because it's like all the background is, what does our customer need? Well, our customer doesn't need us to do all this random computing stuff. There's an entire unit for that I am not a part of, and by no means qualified to ever be a part of, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, the normal run of the mill weather forecasting unit such as mine, nah.
I just always wonder, because so many, like, I don't know about you guys, but I know with like my degrees, there was stuff that I had to take that it's like, I don't use this. I don't ever use this stuff that was part of this. And so I always find it interesting talking to others
Lincoln
about
Park, in the end, it doesn't even matter.
So, yeah.
Howard, you
I'll
done
be
yet
honest with you,
some
Howard.
drink?
I didn't finish my degree because I'm missing some of those classes that I knew I would never use. I've just been lucky that I was able to break in and get into the field and get into a job that I like without it. But it definitely was more difficult without that degree.
I can see that. Unfortunately, like the stuff that I'm associated with, unfortunately, it's all academics, and academics, they do care about those degrees. Unfortunately, I have yet to work someplace where like what my degree is in really hasn't mattered.
Yeah, the state in particular, I know I applied out there and my application was immediately rejected because I didn't have my degree. Didn't matter that at the time I had 5 years of experience in the field or anything like that.
So I'll share something that just happened this year that, it is an example. So we switched departments in the agency. So now historic sites are under the audience engagement and museums division, and I'm part of the education team, which makes sense. That's what my degree is in, is education. When they made that switch, they created kind of a new position, or at least kind of elevated, but it's our education and engagement manager position. And that's who I now report to. And I applied for that position when it came, because why not? I care deeply about education. I am very serious about it. And that truthfully is more in line with what I like to do than what I currently do. I mean, I love what I do now, but my role is far more managerial, and it's not like I get to touch on education, but I'm more focused in on interpretation and historic sites and that side. Anyway, I applied for it, and then they took the position down because they decided to make some changes, and then they put it back up. And when they did, they put that you had to have a master's degree in order to apply, which took me out of the running. And I totally get their logic behind it is, unfortunately, in education, to do professional development courses that count towards your licensure, to teach that, you have to have a master's. So by me not having a master's, that meant that I was not a person who could then teach those courses. So even though I came to it with like 20 years experience in the field, because I don't have a master's, I was disqualified for it. And it's like, that sucks. With that said, my executive director did offer, because when he broke the news to me that I wasn't eligible for that, he did offer to pay for my master's if I ever decide to go for it. But with 2 little kids, it's too chaotic for me to do it now, but maybe in the future I'll do that. But yeah,
It's nice to know that door is still open in a way.
Yeah, it is kind of nice. Otherwise, I'm kind of stuck where I'm at, unfortunately, in the agency. I can't move up anywhere because I don't have a master's. Although, what that really mean, it's like I can have all the experience in the world and it doesn't matter for that. And that to me, I don't quite care for. So
I was kind of surprised by that. I was not specifically looking for me, but just looking out of curiosity about like adjunct professors, and they're required to have a master's degree. It's like, okay, typically your adjunct instructors are people who teach a class like 1 day a week, and they work a job in most likely the field where they're teaching, so they got that real world experience. Why is the master's degree required for that particular situation?
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing of that too. And I have looked at those types of positions as well. Because at some point, I have thought about, I would one day like to go back to teaching. However, if I go back, I'm going back at the college level, but I don't really want to do the whole high school stuff anymore.
You'd rather be teaching somebody who wants to be learning what they're in the class for versus being forced to.
Well, yeah. Here's the truth of it. So when I was a teacher, I was damn good at being a teacher. It's one of the few things I'm willing to really brag about myself on. I was very good at the actual teaching, and was very successful with that. And so the problem got to be, and part of why I got out of teaching was I then ended up at a school where everything was so mandated. I wasn't allowed to do the things that made me successful. And so because I couldn't do the things that made me successful, I stopped enjoying it. And the truth about it is, even if I went back to a mainstream school now, I would still be dictated by, here are the standards, here's what you have to cover, here's how you have to cover it. And the thing is, I can go up a level, and at the college level, I have a bit more control over my syllabus and what I teach and how I teach and all of that. And that's, I think, the truth of it is, like, if I'm going to go back into that field, I want to go back at that level where I have that control and I can do the things that I want to do and be successful.
That makes sense.
So it's my general take on it and such, but I got a while. I'm not going anywhere. I really do like what I do at the Historical Society. It sounds like I'm complaining, but it's, I really do enjoy my job and what I do and the people I work with. It was just kind of, the frustration was to be told, like, yes, you can apply for this, and then, no, sorry, we've changed our mind. You can't apply for this. And, that just always sucks,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That is important, though, that you actually enjoy your job, and it makes a world of difference in getting up and going to work every day.
Yeah, it does. And I do enjoy it. It is stressful these days, but it's our busy season right now. So it's, I've been hopping. So this will be my second week in a row of working 6 days a week. So, because I work tomorrow at an event in Jamestown. So it's just how it goes. But to answer Kidder's question, Kidder, I did finish that first beer. So I am ready now for round 2. Or in your case, round 3. But hey, Big D might be done with his. So it could be round 2 for Big D. See? There we go.
And I will say that agua fresca, I don't know if it was that or if I just got a really good pour, but I did the lemonade shandy after I was done with that, and it was like way better than the last time I made a lemonade one. So I don't know if it was just that agua fresca totally ruined my palate or...
I mean, I wouldn't blame the I wouldn't, I wouldn't be surprised if the aqua fresca didn't just trash the old palate, because that stuff is...
I think it flew over there and started liquidating your brain again.
Listen, it's been a week.
Oh, there it is again. There it is.
Yeah,
You got to drink now. Big D has to drink the rest of the bottle.
Anyway, let's get to what's on tap round 2/round 3.
Well, I gotta run up and grab it, so I'll be back.
Damn it, man!
Flipping rookies.
Oh man, why don't you just shut the?
Is that really the best joke he could come up with? The censoring himself? I mean,
Well, I might as well finish this one off and pour myself another one. So
go for it. Go for it. Kidder, you having another one?
now, do I have another one of these, or do I have something else that Kidder gave me?
After that Aqua Fresca, would you really trust another thing that Kidder gave you?
You know, the other ones he gave me, most of them are ones you guys have had on the show before, and I don't think they were too bad. Actually,
Well,
it's only been had once, the other one I was thinking about having.
Well, while you guys are kind of sorting that out, hang on, let me set the truck aside. Let me don the poncho because I was stalling.
Do that while Big D's gone.
He didn't hear you took his headphones off.
So we'll crack this thing open. Hopefully, I end up dry at the end of it. Oh, nothing. I'm kind of starting to think that the local geek fed me some line about, oh, it's 50-50 just so that I would pull out the poncho. You know,
I just wanted to make sure I was covered. I didn't want to be responsible for the cave being ruined.
you know, that's a good call. That's a good call. And I can appreciate that. So, all right. Guess I don't need this thing. Best part of this episode is going to be that I've worn that poncho twice now. And,
You should have kept it on for Big D when he gets back.
it's going to be one of those things that when eventually he goes back and watches it, he goes, wait, I missed this?
Twice.
Teach him to, not be ready for what's on tap. I can definitely smell the lemonade in this. It's definitely got a lemonade scent to it. So. You know what? I'm going to be a bit of a contrarian. I like this better than the grapefruit. There.
Did you have some agua fresca before that too?
No. I didn't. I learned my lesson.
They are both good though.
I mean, they're definitely both good. I think I'm a bigger fan of lemonade than I am grapefruit. So I think this just resonates with me, and it tastes like lemonade, and I can appreciate that.
I'm actually a bigger lemonade fan than grapefruit too. The flavors I thought with the grapefruit went together a little bit better than the lemonade. But this last one I had, I would agree the lemonade I liked better.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah, I like this one better than the grapefruit. And it's not to say that the grapefruit was bad, but I think the lemonade shandy is better. So there, I'm being a contrarian. What's new?
I thought the lemonade was better than the grapefruit, but the grapefruit also had more sour to it.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
You'd also had the grapefruit before, Kidder, so.
Yep. That's why whenever Local Geek says, I got a beer if somebody wants to run, Kidder's like, me, so that he can raid the keg while he's there, get a sample.
One of these days I'll have an IPA in the kegerator just for him.
You got to name it Kidder's Hatred, though. So, Big D, you're back. What'd you go up and grab? What'd you bring?
So I sat down right as you said the words. I learned my lesson, so I'm like, okay, clearly he is not drinking a juice. So,
we've discussed that quite thoroughly. How that's never happening again.
yeah, I remember. So I got a classy beverage. This is not an attempt to troll classy like I've brilliantly done in the past. No, so nothing is quite as classy as drinking wine out of a mason jar, but I got a some 19 Crimes. It's an Australian company, winery, vineyard. This happens to be the Cabernet Sauvignon. Again, got a bunch of stuff in the house, trying to clear through without getting anything new in the next couple of weeks. 2021 is a very good year. I say that because that is the year I left North Carolina. So, yeah, cheers to that. Yeah, good full body beverage. I give that a 5. 19 Crimes has never disappointed the D family, so 5 out of 5.
Nice. I went ahead and went over to the old beer fridge and pulled out another one that Kidder gave me from the Spetzel Brewing Company. The Shiner Sea Salt and Lime.
Ooh.
But that one had much better reviews the last times that it was on, so we'll see how this one goes.
That just sounds really good.
It's very limey. I like it. I agree. When I looked through the sheet, it was mentioned the salt really isn't there, but the lime is right up front.
Yeah, that's how I kind of remember it. It was more lime than salt, but
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this one.
good.
One of these days, somebody needs to, just as a novelty, somebody needs to showcase the Amber Moon on what's on tap. You have any idea what I'm talking about?
Nope, not at all.
So it is get a nice cold glass. You crack an egg inside. Go with me on this. But you add salt, Worcestershire, bourbon, and Tabasco, and then just bottoms up. Apparently, it's great for a hangover. I have my doubts. Many doubts.
If somebody's going to try that, Big D, I nominate you.
I nominate Kidder for one reason only. I just do.
I feel like we could nominate JS for the Juice 4 Loco incident.
Oh, geez. Valid as penance for his sins.
You know, the thing is, he doesn't view it that way. He looks at that very much as like, I created the best episode of the Triple B ever.
Unfortunately, he's not necessarily wrong, but still, nomination goes to him. I just need a gavel for Big D rules, and I don't have it.
Yeah, I could loan you this.
No, that was a long time ago for me, too.
Well, we're sort of on the subject of the hot sauce. Have you guys heard the controversy going on about Sriracha sauce?
Yeah, for the record, that was my shoehorn segue into that, because I was like, this is... Anyway, I have not heard.
Apparently, there's a shortage of the peppers that they use to make it. So because of that, there's a shortage of Sriracha sauce. And just for fun, I pulled up the old eBay and sorted it by highest price. And looks like the highest price one is 2 little like restaurant packets, like a ketchup packet, going for $250,000.
Boy, if I would have known that was the story, I was in the grocery store earlier today. I would have looked for Sriracha. I could have financed the show with that. Because I don't think it's quite as popular here as it is in other places.
Right. What I found really interesting was actually the first entry on eBay. This one is the second one. The first one was a bottle for $35 with $2,550,100 shipping from Romania.
Wow.
Most of them on eBay are going for like $20 to $50 for a bottle. But I thought it'd be fun to sort by the highest price just to see what exactly was out there.
Screw that. Just put some Tabasco on your eggs. Call it good.
Hey, Kidder. Not to derail the hot sauce chat, but
He's
I
gonna
might
cool it off. Watch it.
well, actually, I have something that might make your night a little bit better because
$72 million.
no, because you've been
$1 million.
You've been just a little curmudgeonly, but let me say first of all, I have finished the truck, so there is the trailer, all assembled, put together, including the nice hatch doors. So all that's done. The cab is not like 100% glued together because then I can't paint the interior.
Neither are we, so it's fine.
So that's the good news. Truck's done, ready for paint. The bad news, and I don't know how I did it because there's no real exposed glue, but
You glued yourself together. Good job.
yeah.
I'm going to take away your art and crafting privileges.
I remember my
done.
first time working with glue.
Well, that was
you've
that was
already used that
smelling
line,
glue,
Big D.
but-
Already used that one.
I don't care.
I do. I need something more witty for our other content. There we go. So I don't know where I even picked that glue up with. I literally was
Probably about on your finger. That'd be
So-
about where you found it.
I was putting the front of the cab on because it's one that actually it is meant to lift up because that's how the actual truck works. I was putting that on and I get done with it, and all of a sudden I'm like, my fingers are glued together. I don't know where the glue came from. I don't know how it got on my fingers, but
Was it
somewhere
like-
I picked up glue.
It was like a little bit on your workspace, and you might have set the tire down, and then when you picked it up, maybe.
No, none. I fell for that trap once before. I'm good. I even Big D, since the last time, I even got this like nifty glue pen to like cut down on the spillage. I don't know where I got, I don't know how I pulled it off. I don't know where I found glue to glue my fingers together, but I did. So there. Hopefully that brings you all some joy because you can all laugh at Howard and his continual failing to hobby on this show.
Maybe you should switch to Bondic. It'll probably be a little safer for you.
Yeah. It's all right. But truck's done. Now it just needs to be primed. Then we can start painting.
Did you see the responses?
Yes, it's been pretty overwhelming that people want me to paint this as the Sinclair truck. So I've seen it.
I didn't vote because I actually was on the fence about which way to go. So.
Mm. Yeah. So Big D, I know you don't watch the show, so
I do. Just
He's
sparingly.
not watching the show now. Like he doesn't even know what you just did.
secrets
this,
out. Secrets out.
This particular truck, I can either paint it in the Army. I know the box is upside down, but I have all the pieces loose. I can paint it with the Army paint scheme, or I can paint it in the Sinclair paint scheme. And I have all the decals to do both. So I've been asking the audience how I should paint this thing. And I have mostly gotten the Sinclair paint job. I've had 2 people suggest that I paint it half and half, which I'm not going to do.
That would be dumb. Reevaluate your life choices if you even consider that, which it sounds like you're not.
He really should do it because then each month he can rotate the display and it's like he's got a new centerpiece.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Is that a new truck that you have on your shelf?
Yeah, Kidder's vote was just buy a second truck and paint them both.
Huh?
I don't know that
Honestly,
I enjoy.
that's the way I would go. Just because, like I said, I'm on the fence about which one would be better.
Yeah, so we'll see. But I think it's going to be the Sinclair just because that's where the audience is kind of voted. So
Did they though? Where's the
tried.
proof?
I mean, I went to the Triple B Facebook page, and there I
Did
can
you
see
put
all
the
the
graph?
comments.
Where's the graph? I need documentation. I feel this election has been stolen.
Where's all your bots from the Star Wars, Star Trek competition?
Yeah, where did they go?
I don't know. They also aren't voting on the my shelf project either. I got all of 2 votes on that poll.
I did vote on that.
Yes, you did.
You got one vote.
You did, and my wife did. That's it. Nobody else. It was like 2 questions. It was like, hey, which of these 3 ideas should I go with? And then, hey, any recommendations for what I should put as the hidden references on there? That's it. It's
Number
like 2
of questions is too damn high. Too damn high. Where's this link if somebody wanted to actually pull it up and take a look?
Well, you can find it on our Facebook page. That's one spot. Or you can find it if you look back at past episodes, including the last Howard's Cave of Wonder video, which was all about this project and the options. So there's a couple.
So either Facebook or pulling up prior episodes.
Yeah.
Or future Howard's feeling really generous, he'll pull it up on this episode.
Facebook it is.
Probably, although I think I said, like, was it last week? Or I think it was last week. I forget which. I think I tried to set like a deadline of like, it's going to be here because I want to get started on this thing and such. So that, yeah. So if you're seeing this now, you're probably a bit too late for voting. So, but thanks for those who did. I appreciate it. It gave me some good things to think about. There were some good ideas. Very good ideas. And such.
How Big D can vote, because I know he's not going to go look at our Facebook page.
That was the hidden joke that you glossed right over, but now I can't find it. Where's the vote? When did you put this up?
Been up for like a couple of months now. It's,
Nope.
it's now in the run sheet. So
That's what I'm saying. I just dropped it in there because, things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But now you got me wondering what I'm going to paint next. Not models, but I got kind of picked up. No, like legitimate
Toilet bowl.
Now, what artwork for the Big D Business Center? No. I picked up, sort of, kind of picked up painting as a quasi hobby about a year and a half ago. I did because I'm about to relocate, and I left not that. I left a gift for my forecasting team. I thumbtacked it to the wall because, again, classy, right? Just a blank white canvas, about 8 by 10, or no, bigger than that, a little bit bigger than 8 by 10. I forget, 11 by 9. I forget, but it's a blank white canvas, and me being a dick, I printed out on a piece of paper, Grand Forks in the winter, a masterfully rendered creation by Captain D, and just put it on the wall. But seriously, I painted a few things. I'm wondering what I'm going to be.
Now you got to actually, send future Howard some examples so he can post it up so that people can see said art paintings by Big D.
Sure.
Yeah. So get on that. Yeah. You have 2 weeks. Actually, you have a week, truthfully, because I got to start editing it before then. So you have been warned.
Yeah, all my time in the evening, but for this, has gone into sorting and getting everything ready to move. So I figured, hey, once Mrs. D and Little D take off, I'll actually have time to to paint and set up my stuff. And nah, hadn't happened yet. It's been 4 days. Hadn't happened yet. Doesn't look good.
Question.
Answer.
Sorry, I just have an arm here. So what kind of stuff, Big D, when you do paint, are we talking abstracts, or are you doing landscapes?
Now, to be clear, I've done exactly 2 things thus far, just because, again, haven't had a whole lot of time. But largely my influence is Bob Ross. May he rest in peace. Mostly scenery, wet on wet painting.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you do these, are you following like a Bob Ross tutorial, or are you just winging it?
The first 2 were the only 2 have been winging it for the most part. I have the wrong size of brush relative to the canvas I have, so I gotta fix that. I need to get a smaller brush for the small canvas, because they're only about yay big. The smaller ones, the larger ones are like 8x14 or something crazy.
I could probably set you up with some.
Are those natural or synthetic?
A little of both, but I mean, if you need brushes, I got brushes. I got more brushes than I can shake a stick at. So, I mean, if
you just shook a stick at it.
Shook a whole bunch of sticks at it.
There.
Why is Stickly hanging around? No, that's got to be his cousin Stack.
It's actually the Atom. A character from a never actually produced but somewhat fully written mini series that I was gonna produce back in my filmmaking days. It's called Indie Film. And we had a character who actually was based on Big D, who talked to an imaginary. I never told you this. Talked to an imaginary friend who was called the Atom, and this is how everybody else perceived the Atom, was as a wooden spoon with googly eyes.
I hate you so much.
It's actually a very well written series, mostly because I've got it and rewrote it to make sense after the person I was working with. I took their jumbled heap of a mess and fixed it. It was funny.
Wasn't me, just for the record.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Kidder. Kidder was a character in it. Yeah. Because the whole premise of it was, it started actually as we were going to do a web comic, me and this individual. And I wrote 14, it's like either 14 or 18 weeks worth of strips, and came to learn that this individual who I was partnering with could not keep up with the art side of it. Like, he thought he could when we first started talking about it, but he couldn't keep up with it. But it was this great idea. It was kind of about what it was like to make independent films and relying on your friends and the shenanigans you got into that with it. And it was kind of parodied of a lot of people we knew. So like Farva had a character in there who was that also known as Farva, and was very similar, probably played up his redneck side just a tish more than real life. And therefore, so it was kind of all kind of character play like that. But we couldn't get that done. About that time is when like YouTube really started to take off and things like that. And the idea of doing a weekly web series seemed very plausible. And so we took the comic and started writing it as a web series. And then it never made it past the draft form. By the time I started getting final drafts, like I was living in Montana at the time, it just wasn't ever going to work out. Has some amazing jokes in it, and things that I still to this day am going to be disappointed that I never get to be brought to life, because my favorite scene in it was involving Kidder's character portraying what's his name? He's the infomercial guy.
Billy Mays.
Yes, Billy Mays. And it was very much my character trying to convince my character, who was named Howard at that time, before I was using it on a regular basis, and his partner were trying to do, it was the 24-hour film festival. So that was kind of the premise of it. And part of it was my partner was going crazy because he was going through his own divorce and such at that time. And so I was in charge of it. And we have this bit where I supposedly have Billy Mays in to be part of this. And it's really just Kidder. And it has, just one of the best lines of like, it's Billy Mays. It's not Billy Mays. It's Kidder. No, it's Billy Mays. Beard, blue shirt, hand gestures, Billy Mays. Basically summarizing it down to that. To which the partner that would go, okay, I need to go lie down. And the big joke was in Farmer, hey guys, did you know Billy Mays is here? And that was the joke. And it was funny. And it doesn't play well just as one person describing it, but I laugh. So, but that's a series that unfortunately will never probably see the light of day. Which is a shame.
Seeing the light of this show, so it's about the same.
Yeah. Hey, it's at least, yeah. Well, someday, Kidder, I'll talk about the whole film career thing, but not right now, because boy, we're getting late and we still have some topics to cover, including somebody wants to talk about Burger King cheeseburgers for reasons.
Yeah, because you like to get a cheeseburger every now and then, but this is a cheeseburger. Have you seen this? Have you checked this out?
Yeah, I haven't.
Okay.
Tell me more. Tell me more, Kidder.
Burger King is bringing you the burger that you never knew that you needed, and it is a cheeseburger, a burger with no patty, and it is full of cheese.
I have heard of this. That's all. I've heard of it.
So, the sandwich, 2 pieces of bread, i.e. a top bun and a bottom bun, and 20 slices of American cheese, the real cheeseburger with no beef, no other meat. That's all it is. It's full of flavor for those who love cheese. The super cheeseburger from Burger King, full of cheese flavor with 20 sheets of American cheese. If you don't come to play, order now. It's about $3.13. Now, this is currently available in Thailand, and unknown how soon it will be available in the U.S. However, apparently, it's been showing up on some menus and may be available at your local BK through August 20th. So go get it now. Go get your real cheeseburger. And then you might want to stop by the store on your way home and pick up a little something to help you visit the Big D Business Center within the next 6 months.
Little bit of Pepto-Bismol, maybe some Ducalax.
Something to push that through.
So my suggestion, drink a full pot of coffee and then eat a giant bowl of Fiber One and then make no plans for the next 8 hours.
Well, I know a plan. Watch past episodes of this show.
On the topic of crazy burgers, I'm about to drop an image in the, assuming it works. Yeah, there we go. So in the 2007, 2008 timeframe, or whenever Windows 7 came out, maybe a couple of years later, apparently Burger King in Japan, to celebrate, had a 7-patty Whopper. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, but I can feel my my heart crying out for mercy just looking at it.
Oh, come on. Those patties are like a millimeter thick. So all of those would equal maybe a quarter pounder.
Yeah, but they doctor up the images or the material where they're taking these photos. They're doctoring up the meat in the sandwich to make it look bigger than it actually is. But they do a good job. I look at that, and as a former cardiac patient, I can't.
I kind of feel that way right now. Like, oh, I could eat one of those. Too bad. I think BK is closed by now. Damn, doing this show late.
Interesting.
The infamous infamous postal truck incident, BK closed a couple months ago.
Yes, it did. Shut down. No more felonious occurrences occurring.
No more phone calls at 4:30 in the morning from Big D's dad. Son, the hell do you want? I'm sleeping. We need to talk. What? Postal truck swinging a bell. Oh,
if you want the full story on that, go back to the first episode starring Big D, which was called a new challenger.
Listen, biggest D, it's okay. Promise. I'll tell you about it later in the morning. That's what you should have told your dad.
Okay.
The biggest D.
He is taller than me, but I definitely outweigh him by like 40 pounds. So there's that.
Oh, shit. Okay, there they are. So, all right, I have to share. Sorry, I've been slightly distracted. I took it, I opened up.
Tourette's all of a sudden, or what? You okay?
Okay.
Settle down, Timmy.
Did you eat the cheeseburger?
No. It sounds delicious, though.
Clogged his brain.
I finally I opened this Bandai Namco X-Wing fighter kit, and I opened it up, set the lid off to the side, opened the pack of this sprue. So it comes with a sticker sheet and then the sprues. But here's the thing. No instructions whatsoever.
Build your own adventure.
In the bottom, it's all mostly foreign language, and the one caution, which basically says there's small parts to this. Don't let kids eat them.
Because you have to have those sorts of warnings in a Star Wars toy.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, not only is it small parts, but then the other thing is, don't cover your mouth with the plastic bag. You could suffocate. So there's that. So I'm sitting here a little like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? I picked this up. There they are. There's the instructions. It's on the inside top of the box. So,
So Star Wars fans, again, not using their situational awareness to look around for the box. You got to think outside the box.
Or inside, as it were.
Upside down the box.
It's different, and my first time with this company and their model kits, okay? At least I've assembled my model kits, and they don't just sit on a shelf.
They're easier to dust that way.
In a box, unopened, unloved.
And they look better. They're pure love. Why? Because it's like your ship over your shoulder. Can see the whole thing in full color glory, and I don't have to dust individual parts.
For those who don't know, many years ago, I actually gave Kidder a model kit. I think it's of like 3 of the Enterprises, and he's never assembled them. I even offered to assemble and paint them for him, and he's like, no. And so the model kit box, sits on a shelf, unopened, just there.
That's ice cold.
I mean, you see, here he could have 3 like awesome display pieces of the Enterprise.
It's like this big, all 3 of them are here, and they're shooting through space. You can't cut out a corner of space to put up there.
But what you can do is get your life together and put those things together.
No.
This just go because he was throwing shade at the Star Wars fans and situational awareness.
Mm-hmm.
At least Star Wars fans will, play with their toys and enjoy them. Local Geek, you'll appreciate this. I actually bought Kidder a really good Star Trek board game. He's never played it. It's never been out of the box.
Yeah, it's a board game, and plus, I don't want to ruin the value of it. Opening it and then destroying it is just not good value for the open market 20, 30 years from now, or maybe when I'm no longer here and my family is left here scrounging pennies to pay bills, and they go, there's this set of starships and there's this board game. We can sell these for millions of dollars and we can eat tonight.
Normally, this is where I'd make a transition that it's time to end the show, but there's one last topic worth talking about, and that's bedtime, which is a good topic to close. And I know this one came from the local geek. So,
a little bit. So, bedtime's been a challenge for my little guy last week, 2 weeks maybe. I might have even mentioned it the last time I was on. I don't remember. I'm sleep deprived. But if you haven't already started into it, Howard, I'm sure it's coming for you, where he's getting up several times at night, coming into our room, various requests, often things that he doesn't need to come in and request, such as, I don't want to wear my jammies, I want to sleep naked. Okay, why'd you need to come in and tell me that? You could just do it. But last night we tried for the first time and did it again tonight, and it seems to be working. We have basically told him, you can play with your toys that you have in your room after we put you to bed, but you have to leave the lights off and you can't come out of your room. And he has done that for what we're estimating is about 10 minutes, because the sounds quit after about that long. And he's actually gone to bed on his own.
Yeah, Junior is not quite at the point where he's ready to put himself to bed on his own. That doesn't happen quite yet. And for the most part, he sleeps through the night. The problem that we get is, like, last night was rough. He got up twice, and very similar situation. Like last night, when we put him down, he for some reason decided, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna flip and I'm gonna sleep with my head down where I usually have my feet. So we had to move his pillow and his blankets and all of that. Okay, fine, kid. I'm not gonna argue with you. Go to sleep. And he was fine, but then about midnight he comes rolling in, upset, and I don't know. He didn't even come rolling in. I got out of the shower and he was crying, and my wife had sent me a text because she was trying to put our other kid down. Junior's crying, and so I went down, and he was worked up and all upset. And I finally calmed him down. I'm like, okay, what's up? He goes, I want my pillow over there. He had gotten up in the middle of the night, or gotten up, was disoriented because he wasn't in his usual spot, and so he freaked out and got himself all scared. That's what had happened.
Oh no!
So had to flip him back to the other side, and tuck him in, and start the whole process. And then he got like a death grip on my finger and would not let go. So you ever make that mistake of like, okay, yeah, buddy, you can hold my hand as you're going to sleep, and then they latch on, and you're like, okay, now I gotta try and like Jenga my finger out from this grip. But like, if you wake them enough, then they reattach.
Yep.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, thankfully most of our issues are before he actually falls asleep. So usually if he gets up in the middle of the night, it's one of those like he's crawling into our bed and sleeping with us because we're too tired to try to put him back down, and he's too tired to do anything. So although the other night he did come into our room and he was upset because he couldn't find his water cup. We'd forgotten to get a new one after we put the old one in the dishwasher. And it had been like 3 days, so he hadn't used it for a few days. So I had to get him a new water cup, put him down in his bed, and didn't hear a peep out of him again after that.
Yeah. He's, for the most part, as I said, he's pretty good. He knows where his water cup is. He's fine. But yeah, so he came in. So I had the once where he woke up there, and then he came in last night at another time, and my wife took care of that one. But it was enough to still wake me up. And it's, yeah, we try our hardest not to let him sleep in our bed. Because we just don't want to start that habit, because eventually you have to break that one. And it's like, nah, we're just going to not allow it. Because we don't want to end up like Big D, who I believe I've heard still has that issue.
You're not wrong. Yeah. So, I mean, and in fairness, I mean, we first moved when Little D was 6 months old, and then there was a vagabond status for like 10 months, and then a lot of moving around. We were in North Carolina, then we were up here, so a lot of moving around. He couldn't fall asleep unless one of us was next to him, and that's still the case. We'll eventually get away from that, but I mean that's where we're at right now. When we moved here, our upstairs is all hardwood floor, and the when he would get down, our dog, sit tight. This would be a good point for future Howard to edit. Give me 1 second, because down here.
He didn't turn his camera off this time.
No, he didn't.
But now I said, you should. Go for it.
This butthead, I mean, sweetheart, 20 pounds of rage. Elias, Little D's feet would hit the floor, and she would lose her full mind and just start going, wake Mrs. D and myself up from a cold sleep, just freaking out. We'd try to get back into his bed, and we did. But then, like 15 to 16 minutes later, depending on how good of a night it was, repeat. And it got to the point where it happened like 4 times in a night. You'd come in and we're trying to get back to bed, and eventually I'm like, we just got to let him, because otherwise we're never going to sleep again. We'll figure it out later. So Little D turns 5 in 8 weeks, and we're still in that spot. And I mean, we're about to relocate internationally again. So we're so it could be worse. When he is in between us, sleeping, for the most part, he's a good sleeper. He does kick sometimes, but I mean, it's better than you. It's you. I love you. You suck. Mwah.
Most of the time for us, it's if he gets up in the middle of the night, we'll let him sleep with us, because it's just too much hassle to get him back into bed. Although we do, like you said, he usually sleeps between us. And there was one night a few weeks ago where my wife got up to go to the bathroom after he came in, and he scooted over and totally took her spot, and she couldn't get him to move. So she ended up laying between him and me. And at some point in the middle of the night, she woke up and he had fallen out of our bed, which is like 3 feet off the ground. He was sitting on the floor with his back against our bed. So we think he must have slid out. But he was dead asleep and had no recollection.
Yes, the joys of raising kids.
And I mean, I've contemplated this a few times, and I'm sure you both agree that while it can be irritating as all hell, when Little D gets past this phase, there is part of me that is going to miss it, just because he's a very snuggly little guy when he's asleep or barely conscious. And he's like, Mama, Dada, come snuggle. Okay.
100%. There's going to be a last time for that, and you never know which time's going to be the last time.
And on that great bit of sentimental thought and feeling, Kidder, we've been talking for quite a while. The beer is all gone. It's time we wrap this show up with some good old-fashioned cheap plugs.
Well, the best thing to do is get out your phone or your tablet or your laptop, maybe even your 1992 Casio keyboard, and get online, because it's time to hit beerbluesbs.com. Beerbluesbs.com, that is the place to join us, because we have all kinds of stuff on there. Our episodes, our merch store, the ability for you to buy us a beer, buy us around, many different things. The links to our social media pages as well, beerbluesbs.com. In addition, we have merch store right there, and another merch store where there's some great products. In fact, brand new products available. I know Howard is surprised, but there are many new designs available for you at streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. Also, while you were on there, you can donate to the Triple B. That'll help the show go for another month or 2 or 3, depending on how much you give. You can set up monthly recurring payments as well to help share and care to continue this show. Again, streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. 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 If you are listening to this, it's in the show notes. If you're watching this, it's on the bottom of the screen. So thanks. Appreciate that. Hey, also, I do have to mention that in our regular merch store, there's a lot of Big D merch. You can get a shower curtain or a t-shirt or an apron. Like you're going to go cook, make a sandwich. You can get Big D's face on it. It's at
get me arrested, you son of a bitch.
Get you arrested? Well, only if you stop by the business center and you're not appropriately dressed. Oh, he just shrugged and laughed. I don't think
Mike, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, if that scenario were to come to pass, shut up.
I thought you just weren't looking at the screen.
He caught it pretty quick after I did it.
No, he didn't. Now he caught it.
I saw the back out. I didn't see the business center until just now. Well played. Well played.
Yep.
Hey, Kidder, look at page 3 of the rundown. That's for you, man.
That is not an old fashioned. That is an abomination. Abomination. Yeah.
Keep plugging your plugs with your plug and plugs.
You can get the recipe to make an actual old fashioned, like they do locally on the Mandan side of the river at Thomas and Moriarty's. Quick shout out to them. Classy, tasty, old fashioned, and a recommendation. This one, Big D, you can also use this recommendation, but I just want you to know that if you use this with your nasty Wisconsin old fashioned, you're going to ruin this whiskey. That's actually what it's called. It's a Wisconsin old fashioned with a nasty ass cherry. It's not a real old fashioned. It's called Bareface. It's a Canadian whiskey. It's elementally aged in triple oak there for 7 years. It's delicious. You make an old fashioned with this, it could change your life. It's simply astounding.
Well, when I pass through in a couple of weeks, I invite you to make me one. So,
that reminds me, Kidder, when I was in Las Vegas, one of our vendors took us out to a whiskey bar, and I ordered myself an old fashioned, and they put a cherry in my old fashioned.
Did you get up and leave? call that place the worst bar of Las Vegas?
No, I maybe would have if I was by myself, but
Oh, what is this bar? I must know for when I travel to the Vegas of Loss.
it's in the MGM. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was either something whiskey or whiskey something.
Well, clearly they're idiots, and I will have to go school them. Should be a good time. If I don't make it back from Las Vegas, I'm probably in jail, just so you guys know. So anyway, if you can help donate to either the Get Kidder Out of Jail Fund or to keep the Triple B going for another few months, because one of those things will end up happening. So again, streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs or beerbluesbs.com, and then click on merch. Buy a t-shirt, one of these awesome Triple B t-shirts, right? I mean, look at that. Nice threads. It's real comfortable to wear, good material, nice screen print on there. Maybe you would like to put a sticker on your car. You could do that too. Got the Triple B stickers, good print on those. You could also, as you take the sticker, maybe get the old-fashioned recipe, the perfect old-fashioned. As you can see, got that right here. The perfect Kidder-approved old-fashioned, available at beerbluesbs.com. Zest of orange peel and no freaking cherry. Somebody's in the rundown. No, not Abominable Hulk or Abomination. What?
I was up clearing it up. Old fashioned abomination. Old fashioned abomination.
Yeah.
I was just trying to help here.
I guess I wasn't confused, but I'm glad that you cleared it up for yourself. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying a tasty beverage. Not in that one with the nasty cherry, but an old-fashioned tasty beverage versus a comic book monster.
Alternate caption for that: Big D on a Monday morning without coffee. Just saying.
Yeah, quite the mohawk coming out of your spine. No real comment to it. Okay, so that means we should continue on and get the hell out of here, because this thing's not going anywhere else. So Facebook and Instagram, please like us, follow us, share the page, like the posts. It helps us get in front of 5 to 10 more people, and we would love for that to happen. So again, facebook.com/beerbluesbs. That's our link on Facebook. Just make sure you like it, share it, help us out. Big D. And then also Local Geek. There's also the Instagram on there too. You can follow us on Instagram, tap the gram. Also, Howard's got us going with YouTube. Of course, we are on YouTube with the video version. If you're watching us right now, thank you. Click the like button, please. Right now, it's down here. Just help us out. Click that thumbs up because it'll help us out. And then we're also doing the YouTube shorts. We're doing reels. We're all over the place. So join us. Join us now, and they don't have to worry about subscribing later. Anyway, aside from that, we're on all the audio podcasts out there too. iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, again, YouTube Podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts, iTunes Store, Pandora, Stitcher, TuneIn, IMDb. There's a bunch of them. We're out there. If you have a Spotify, can't forget about Spotify. If you have a subscription or a membership on any of the sites for audio podcasts, just search Beer Blues and BS. Beer Blues and BS. Search that, and we're probably on there. And then subscribe to us for free. Other than that, well, help us out. We'd love for you to buy us a beer, buy us around, help the show continue on another week, or just send us a message and tell us to get it over with, and we'll stop making these. I know what Big D's answer is already. So,
No, you don't.
okay, well, it's come to that point. Closing thoughts. Big D, you open your mouth first, so go ahead.
I'm going to steal a closing thought from was it Howard's first college roommate. Sharp, pointy objects make horrible Q-tips. You put me on the spot, man. That's the best I got.
I said that?
Maybe it was somebody else's roommate. I don't know.
Howard, did I or did I not say that?
I mean, you've said a lot of things. I can neither confirm nor deny that you have or have ever said that.
I'm thinking of the husband of the acquaintance of ours who is the niece of a senator. I don't know if he has a moniker.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He was my second college roommate.
Okay. Second college roommate of Howard.
Mm-hmm. That makes more sense. Mm-hmm.
What's funny is I actually know who you're talking about as well. His brother gave me a ride to the airport when I went to Las Vegas.
Well, that's how it goes. So now that we've established that, are there any other closing thoughts before we wrap this up? Seeing none. Big D, local geek, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you very much for joining us again. Howard Blues, last chance. Got anything to say?
I'm going to need a smaller brush. I mean, the detail on this stuff is incredible. But I don't know how the hell I'm going to paint it.
Beggars can't be choosers. And with that, have a great rest of your week, night, day, morning, whenever and wherever you are. We appreciate you being here for this and every episode of Beer, Blues, and BS. Keep your glass at least half full. There's free beer tomorrow, and we will catch you on down that warp-traveled Tuscan highway. Have a good night, good day, whatever. Catch you in the next episode of Beer, Blues, and BS.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
You know, while we're waiting for Kidder, I should show you. I got a new expansion to a board game in the mail.
Oh,
yeah. It is Cool Mini or Not, or CMON. They did a Marvel Zombies game based off their Zombicide. And so the Galactus the Devourer expansion came.
nice. That's interesting.
Yeah, the rest of the game hasn't made it to me yet. So I don't have the base game. I have this.
Is it playable without the base game? I'm assuming not.
No, it's not. So, but this came, and part of the reason this got shipped early is because it came with a special miniature. And
Oh wow, that's not a miniature.
I know it's a small statue.
That's pretty awesome, though.
I mean, yeah, the one.
What about 3 foot?
No, not quite that, but It's pretty big. Put his arm back in. So his hand there. Let's see. Do I have a standard human on my table? Yeah, close enough. So standard like 28 millimeter miniature.
Wow.
So
That's pretty awesome.
it is. I was talking with Lefty about it, and I said I didn't think I didn't think he was this big. Like when I went for it, I'm like, holy yeah. So I had to figure out where I'm going to store this thing.
You could use him as your stand-in if you have to run up and grab a beer from the beer fridge or something.
I know. It's a chunk too. It's pretty heavy. I mean, if I thought I could weather the elements, I'd put it outside, put a lantern in it, be like one of those jockey statues that you would see.
Nice. What's it made out of?
It's just plastic,
Nice.
but it's just a lot of it.
Is it like solid or is it hollow?
It's hollow. So if I pull his head off,
Oh, okay.
yeah, you can see like that's pretty light, but yeah, yeesh, that is going to be a chunk. Get her.
Hello.
Howdy. How you doing?
I'm here. How about you guys?
I made it.
Not doing too bad.
I would have been a little bit quicker on the draw, but apparently while I was away, somebody came down and messed around in my cave. So like all my lights were pointed elsewhere than where they were supposed to be. This really cute shark appeared on my my webcam. So yeah. So we're just gonna let him stay on my webcam. So